Welcome to the channel, Stories of Slavery. Today's story transports us to 1893, following a brown-eyed girl named Bella Adams, so extraordinary that not even those controlling her life could explain her capabilities. What her mind carried defied logic, frightened those in power, and revealed something never meant to surface. This is more than a slavery story. It's a story the system tried to erase. A heavy, intense account. Pause, breathe, and listen closely. Before we start, subscribe and comment with your city and country. Every voice keeps these forgotten lives remembered, not buried. Stay until the end. What happens to Bella raises a question still unanswered. Let's begin. On a rain-soaked September evening in 1893, a telegram reached Philadelphia General Hospital. Sent by a rural Delaware doctor who'd witnessed something inexplicable, something he didn't expect anyone to believe. Dr. William Cross had practiced medicine 31 years in small towns where people trusted him with lives and secrets. He wasn't one to send urgent messages to city hospitals claiming miracles. Yet that September night, his hands trembled as he wrote words that would change everything. He described a colored girl, about 9, daughter of a Millbrook washerwoman. She'd entered his clinic as he examined a farmer with chest pains. After watching silently under a minute, she tugged Dr. Cross's sleeve and whispered something that chilled his blood. The farmer didn't have indigestion, she said. His left arm had hurt 3 days, his jaw ached climbing stairs, and a blue tint around his fingernails meant his heart was failing. If he didn't lie down immediately and stop moving, he'd die within the hour. Dr. Cross examined the farmer more carefully. The fingernails, pale blue, barely visible unless you looked. The arm pain? The farmer admitted it bothered him, but he thought he'd slept wrong. Jaw pain on stairs? Yes, that too, but he was getting older, wasn't that normal? Dr. Cross made the farmer lie on the examination table and sent for help. The farmer survived a massive heart attack, saved only because a 9-year-old colored girl saw what a trained physician missed. How did you know? Dr. Cross asked afterward, voice shaking. The child's answer haunted him enough to send that telegram. I read about it in a medical book, sir. The signs of heart failure. I remember everything I read, and I see things that don't match what should be there. His heart didn't match a healthy heart. Something was wrong with the pattern. Dr. Cross asked what medical book she could possibly have read. She was colored, presumably illiterate, a washerwoman's daughter who couldn't afford books. The girl's answer was simple. Dr. Harrison left his medical textbooks open on his desk when I cleaned his office with my mama. I looked at the pages while she worked. I remember all of them. Every page, every word, every picture. Dr. Cross didn't believe her. He tested her, pulling medical texts from his shelf, opening random pages, asking her to read passages she'd never seen. She read them perfectly, then recited them back an hour later without error. He showed anatomical diagrams, she identified every structure, bone, and organ using proper Latin terms. He described symptoms, she suggested diagnoses accurate, sometimes more accurate than his own. She was 9. She'd never attended school. She'd learned to read by watching through windows and studying discarded newspapers. And she understood medicine at a level surpassing most physicians he knew. Dr. Cross ended his telegram with a plea. I don't know what to do with this child. She has a gift I cannot explain and cannot ignore. Someone with more resources must examine her, understand her, help her become whatever she's capable of becoming. Please advise. The telegram reached Dr. James Whitfield, head of Philadelphia General Hospital's Department of Internal Medicine, known for curiosity about unusual cases and willingness to investigate claims others dismissed. He read it 3 times, folded it carefully, and placed it in his desk drawer. He thought for 2 days. On the 3rd day, he boarded a train to Delaware. Millbrook in 1893 was the kind of place meant to be forgotten. 200 people, mostly farmers and their workers, living in wooden houses leaning slightly in the wind. The colored population lived east of town in small homes near the creek that flooded every spring. Whitfield found the given address, a narrow house with a sagging porch and windows covered with flour sack curtains. He knocked, feeling neighbors' eyes watching from porches, wondering why a well-dressed white man visited this part of town. The woman answering was perhaps 30, her face weary from hard labor and constant worry. She wore a faded dress and a damp apron, hands rough and red from days submerged in others' dirty laundry. "Can I help you, sir?" Her voice held careful neutrality, colored people's caution with white strangers. "I'm Dr. James Whitfield from Philadelphia. I received a message from Dr. Cross about your daughter." "Is she here?" Something shifted in her expression, fear, perhaps, or resignation. She didn't ask about the message. She stepped aside, opening the door wider. "Bella," she called into the dim interior. "Come here, please." A girl emerged from the shadows. Whitfield caught his breath. She was small for 9, thin from meals often missed. Her skin dark brown, hair in 2 neat braids. But her eye stopped him, brown, ordinary in color, but containing extraordinary depth. They looked at him with intensity, making him feel examined rather than examining, as if she read him like medical texts, absorbing every detail. "Good afternoon, sir," her voice soft but steady. "You're here about what happened with Mr. Patterson, the farmer with heart trouble." "Yes, Dr. Cross told me what you did." "Can you explain how you knew what was wrong?" Bella glanced at her mother, who nodded slightly, though her expression wished she could say no. "I saw the signs, sir. The things meaning his heart wasn't working right. His fingernails' color. How he held his left arm close, even unconsciously. Small movements when he breathed, like breathing hurt but he didn't want to admit it. And I remembered what the medical book said about those signs. It said when you see them together, the heart is failing and the person could die. But you're 9. How can you understand medical texts for physicians?" "I don't know, sir. I just read and remember. And when I see sick people, I match what I see to what I read. It's like the books put pictures in my head, then I see the same pictures in real life." "Is that wrong, sir?" Wrong wasn't the word. Impossible. Miraculous. Terrifying. But wrong suggested moral judgment, and nothing was immoral about an extraordinary child. Over the next 3 hours, in that cramped house smelling of lye soap and poverty, James Whitfield conducted the most important examination of his career. He started with basic anatomy questions, expecting to find limits. There were none. She described the human heart structure matching his medical school education. She explained circulatory, respiratory, nervous systems, using Latin terms correctly, pronouncing them correctly, understanding their meaning. She didn't just memorize, she comprehended. He moved to diagnosis, describing symptoms, asking what conditions might cause them. She provided thorough, accurate differential diagnoses. When he described a confusing case from the previous week that took his team 3 days to solve, Bella suggested the correct diagnosis within minutes, explaining her reasoning simply, revealing genuine understanding. "How is this possible?" he finally asked, as much to the universe as to the girl. "I don't know, sir. Mama says God gave me a gift. But I think maybe my brain works different. I read something once, and it stays forever, every word, picture, idea. My brain keeps working on it, connecting things, seeing patterns, even when I'm not thinking about it. I can't make it stop. Even when I want to forget, I can't. It's all in there, all the time." Whitfield looked at the mother silently standing by the door. "Has she always been like this?" "Since she was 3, sir." She picked up a discarded newspaper and started reading aloud. "I thought she was pretending, making sounds, but she was really reading. She learned somehow, just from watching, through windows mostly, watching other children in school as she walked by. She taught herself. I don't know how. Her full name. Isabella Grace Adams, sir. But everyone calls her Bella. Mrs. Adams, your daughter has abilities I've never encountered. She understands medicine at a level exceptional for a physician with decades of training. In a 9-year-old with no formal education, it's unprecedented. I need to study her further, understand how her mind works, help her develop properly. You want to take her away? Fear sharpened her voice. Not unless you agree. But I want to bring her to Philadelphia with your permission, examine her more extensively, begin educating her properly. She shouldn't clean offices and steal glances at textbooks. She should be in medical school. She's 9, colored, and female. No medical school in this country would accept her, sir. Perhaps not officially, but there are other ways: private instruction, access to libraries and laboratories, mentorship from physicians recognizing her gifts. I can provide these if you allow it. Why would you do this, sir? Why would a white Philadelphia doctor care about a colored Delaware girl? Whitfield considered carefully. Because I became a doctor to understand the human body and heal the sick. Your daughter represents something I cannot understand, something challenging everything I thought I knew about the mind's limits. If I ignore her, walk away pretending I never saw what she can do, I've failed as a scientist and physician. More than that, because she has a gift that could save lives, real lives of people whose doctors missed something Bella could see. How can I walk away? Grace Adams studied him long, reading him as her daughter read medical texts. You're not lying, I don't think so, anyway. But sir, understand something. Men have made promises to people like us before. They said they wanted to help, then used us for their purposes, experimented on us, displayed us like circus animals. I won't let that happen to my daughter. I won't let anyone turn her into a specimen. If you want to truly help her, promise me she stays with me. Promise she never becomes property, an exhibit, a thing instead of a person. Can you promise that? I can promise to try. That's honest. I can't control the world, but I control what I do. I promise you, Mrs. Adams, as long as I have power to prevent it, your daughter will be treated as a human being with extraordinary gifts, not a curiosity to study or a threat to suppress. Grace looked at her daughter, this strange, miraculous child seeing the world in patterns others couldn't perceive. Bella, baby, what do you want? Bella answered without hesitation. I want to learn, Mama. I want to read more books and understand more. The medicine I know is a tiny piece of something huge. I feel how much more there is to learn. It's like being thirsty, seeing an ocean, but only allowed one drop. I want the whole ocean, Mama. I want to know everything. How could a mother say no to that? How could anyone valuing knowledge and human potential deny a mind burning with such fierce hunger? All right, Grace said finally. But I'm coming with her. Wherever she goes, I go. That's not negotiable. Agreed. Whitfield stood, extending his hand, then remembering social barriers, lowered it awkwardly. Can you be ready for Philadelphia within a week? We'll be ready, sir. Thus began Bella Adams's journey from a forgotten Delaware town to the center of a major 19th-century medical controversy, a journey challenging everything white America believed about race and intelligence, demanding a terrible price from all involved. Philadelphia in 1893 was America's second-largest city, a place of contrasts. Grand mansions stood blocks from desperate slums. The wealthy attended concerts and galleries, the poor worked 14-hour days in body-breaking factories. At its heart, Philadelphia General Hospital served as a premier medical institution, training doctors nationwide, conducting research shaping American medicine's future. Whitfield arranged Grace and Bella's stay in a colored section boarding house, clean and modest, run by widow Mrs. Eladina Thompson, who asked no questions about a white doctor paying for a washerwoman and child. Unusual, but payment was reliable. For 2 weeks, Whitfield tested extensively, documenting Bella's abilities scientifically. He confirmed photographic memory by having her read medical texts and recite days later without error. He tested comprehension by asking her to explain complex concepts, her explanations often clearer than original texts. He presented case studies and diagnostic puzzles. Her accuracy exceeded 90%, better than most staff physicians. He brought trusted colleagues to verify. Most were skeptical. A colored child with physician-level knowledge seemed impossible, another era hoax. But one by one, they examined Bella and left shaken, unable to deny what they witnessed. She wasn't just memorizing, she was thinking. Not just reciting, reasoning. Doing what they did, faster, more accurately. Dr. Edward Marsh, University of Pennsylvania Medical School anatomy professor, questioned Bella for hours about human body structure. Afterward, he sat silent minutes before speaking. "James, this is the most remarkable thing I've ever witnessed. This child knows anatomy better than half my students, not just memorized facts, but real understanding. She corrected me twice on points I had wrong. She corrected me. Can you imagine what she could become with training? I can imagine. That's why I brought her here. The question is whether the world will let her become anything." Dr. Robert Sullivan, heart disease specialist, examined Bella's cardiac medicine understanding, the area where she first demonstrated abilities. He emerged pale. "She described a case I saw last month, a patient with unusual heart valve disease presentation. She'd never seen the patient, never heard me discuss it. But when I described symptoms, she identified the condition immediately, then suggested a treatment approach I hadn't considered. I checked the literature. Her suggestion was sound, better than sound. Had I thought of it, the patient might have recovered faster." He paused, wrestling. "James, I don't understand how this is possible. Everything I was taught about racial mental capacity differences says this child shouldn't exist. But she does. She's sitting there knowing more cardiac medicine than physicians' training years. What does that mean? It means what you were taught was wrong, completely wrong. Intelligence doesn't care about skin color. It never did. We told ourselves it did because it suited our social structures. Bella Adams proves the lie. The question is whether anyone will believe her or find ways to explain her away." As word spread through medical circles about the colored girl with impossible abilities, responses varied. Some physicians wanted to meet her, verify claims. Some dismissed it as an elaborate hoax, refusing to investigate. Some saw Bella as a threat to eliminate. Dr. Cornelius Webb, 56, psychiatry professor at Jefferson Medical College, leading voice in racial science, was among the latter. He'd spent decades building theories of biological racial differences, using skull measurements and brain weight studies to argue Negro intellectual inferiority was natural law. His work cited in legal decisions upholding segregation, political arguments against Negro education, scientific papers treating white supremacy as established fact. Now a 9-year-old colored girl in Philadelphia threatened to demolish his life's work. Webb first heard from a colleague who witnessed Whitfield's demonstration, describing the child's abilities with awe and confusion, struggling to reconcile what he saw with racial hierarchy beliefs. Webb listened with growing alarm. Such claims were dangerous. If allowed unchallenged, they'd give ammunition to integrationists and abolitionists wanting to overturn the social order, suggest decades of racial difference research was wrong, undermine segregation foundations and white dominance legal structures. Webb wrote Whitfield politely, professionally, requesting examination permission, framed as scientific curiosity, wanting to verify claims, ensure proper methodology, protect the medical community from potential fraud embarrassment. Whitfield recognized danger immediately. He'd read Webb's publications, knew his agenda. Letting Webb examine Bella was inviting a wolf to evaluate a lamb. But refusal created problems. Webb was influential, well-connected, capable of damaging Whitfield's reputation and career. Strategically, if Webb examined Bella and acknowledged her abilities, it would carry weight. A prominent racial theorist admitting a colored child's extraordinary intelligence would devastate his framework. The question was whether Webb would admit anything or find ways to dismiss what he saw. Whitfield consulted Grace Adams before deciding. He sat in her boarding house room, explaining while Bella practiced reading a medical journal in the corner, lips moving as she absorbed pages. A doctor wants to examine Bella, one whose entire career proves colored people intellectually inferior. If I let him see her, he might try to discredit her, explain away her abilities. He might be hostile, aggressive, humiliating. But if I refuse, he'll claim we're hiding something, that it's fraudulent. He has influence to make that stick. What does Bella think? Grace asked. They looked at the girl, who stopped reading, watching with unnervingly perceptive brown eyes. I think he needs to see me, Bella said. If he doesn't, he'll say I'm not real. People will believe him because they want to. But if he sees me and I show what I can do, he must admit truth or lie. If he lies and I prove it, everyone knows he's a liar. That's not nothing. He might be cruel, Whitfield said. Say terrible things, try to make you feel worthless. People like him believe in their bones you're inferior. Confronting evidence proving them wrong makes them angry, sometimes dangerous. Bella's expression didn't change. Sir, I've been colored my whole life. I know what people think. I hear whispers when I walk by, see them cross streets to avoid me. I've been called names Mama won't repeat, told I'm worth less than dirt under white feet. One more man thinking those things won't break me. But if I make him look stupid publicly, make him wrong obviously, that might change something. She was 9. She shouldn't have to think about these things, develop strategies confronting racism with a general's precision. But this was her world, and she'd clearly thought longer than anyone realized. All right, Whitfield said. I'll arrange it, but I'll be present entire time, establish rules. He can test abilities, but not degrade you. Ask questions, but not interrogate. If you want to stop, we stop. I won't let him hurt you. You can't promise that, Bella said quietly. Nobody can. But I appreciate you trying. Examination scheduled October 15, 1893, at Philadelphia General Hospital. Whitfield chose a large lecture hall, reasoning witnesses provided protection. He invited a dozen trusted physicians who'd verify Bella's abilities as counterweights to Webb's expected hostility. He sent Webb a formal letter outlining conditions, framing in scientific methodology. He prayed, though not religious, he wasn't leading a child to slaughter. October 15 dawned gray, cold, Philadelphia feeling like a city preparing for siege. Bella woke early, ate breakfast Mrs. Thompson prepared, dressed in best clothes her mother could afford, a simple blue dress carefully mended. Grace braided her daughter's hair extra carefully, hands shaking slightly. You don't have to do this, baby. We can leave, go back to Delaware, forget this happened. Bella met her mother's eyes in the mirror. And spend life cleaning houses and reading through windows? No, Mama. I'm not going back. Whatever happens, at least I tried. At least I didn't run. They arrived hospital 9 a.m., entering a side door to avoid main entrance stairs. Whitfield met them in his office, face drawn with tension. Grace, Bella, thank you for coming. Before we begin, examination in main lecture hall. Dr. Webb leads questioning, but I'll be present with other physicians who've observed Bella. If uncomfortable, if Webb becomes abusive or situation untenable, signal me, I'll end it. Bella nodded. What questions? I don't know exactly. Probably similar to mine, testing medical knowledge, reasoning. But Webb may ask questions to humiliate you, make you look foolish, complicated terminology, obscure conditions hoping you won't know, tricks to induce mistakes. I'm not worried about medical questions. I know what I know. Worried he won't accept any answer, however correct. Some people don't want truth, they want to prove what they believe. You're right. But here's the thing, Bella. This isn't really about convincing Webb, he's probably unconvincible. It's about others in that room, physicians watching, undecided. Show them clearly, undeniably what you can do, Webb's opinion won't matter. They'll know truth, even if he refuses to admit it. Bella considered. So I'm not trying to beat him, I'm trying to win everybody else. Exactly. Web is the opponent, the audience is the prize. Make them believe you, Web becomes irrelevant. Sophisticated strategy for a 9-year-old, but Bella nodded with confidence, understanding stakes. She squeezed her mother's hand. I'm ready. Lecture hall smaller than hoped, seats filled with more physicians than expected. Word spread, uninvited doctors found ways to attend, curious about the colored child supposedly understanding medicine better than they did. Webb sat front table, flanked by 2 colleagues sharing racial science views. Large, well-fed, beard stroked constantly, eyes assessing coldly. When Bella entered, those eyes fixed with undisguised contempt. So this is the supposed prodigy, Webb's voice carried. Looks like an ordinary Negro child. Dr. Webb, Whitfield said firmly, maintain professional decorum. We're here for scientific examination, not insults. Of course. Webb smiled, eyes unreached. Merely observing. Shall we begin? Bella directed to a center chair, impossibly small, surrounded by rows of white men deciding whether her mind deserved recognition or dismissal. Webb opened a leather folder, withdrew papers. Start with basics. Can you read, girl? Yes, sir. Who taught you? I taught myself, sir. Expect us to believe you taught yourself with no instruction. I don't expect anything, sir. You asked, I answered truthfully. What you believe is up to you. Slight murmur, a 9-year-old parried condescension with calm logic. Webb's eyes narrowed. Test that claim. He handed her a medical textbook, random page. Read this. Bella looked. The clinical presentation of typhoid fever includes a stepwise fever pattern, rose spots on the abdomen, relative bradycardia, and hepatosplenomegaly. Diagnosis confirmed through blood culture or Weidel test. Treatment focuses on supportive care and complication management, including intestinal perforation and hemorrhage. She read without hesitation, terms correct, voice steady. Now close eyes, recite. Bella closed eyes. The clinical presentation of typhoid fever includes a stepwise fever pattern, word for word, no error. Webb's expression unchanged, but something flickered. Memorization tricks. Colored performers done parlor tricks decades. Proves nothing about genuine intelligence. Then test my intelligence, sir. Give a problem to solve, not just memorize. Ask me to think. Several physicians shifted. Bella challenged directly, forcing escalation or admission of fear. Very well. Webb withdrew different paper. Patient presents severe abdominal pain, fever, vomiting. Exam reveals rebound tenderness, guarding. Diagnosis? Recommendation. Bella thought 5 seconds. Symptoms suggest peritonitis, likely ruptured appendix. Given acute presentation, recommend immediate surgical consultation. Delay increases mortality significantly, infection spreads abdomen, causes sepsis. Speed essential. Webb glanced colleagues, they nodded slightly. Correct, but simple, any medical student could conclude. Then give a hard one, sir. Directness flushed Webb's face, unused to being pushed, especially by a colored child. He shuffled papers, selected case prepared to stump her. 45-year-old man presents progressive weakness months, difficulty swallowing, double vision worsening through day, drooping eyelids. Exam shows no sensory deficits. Diagnosis. Room silent, not simple, a condition many physicians struggle to identify, rare, recently characterized. Bella's eyes distant, searching her mind's library, matching patterns, connecting symptoms to conditions read. Progressive weakness, no sensory involvement suggests neuromuscular junction problem, not nerves themselves. Double vision and ptosis worsening through day indicate muscle fatigability. Difficulty swallowing suggests bulbar muscle involvement. Pattern matches myasthenia gravis, impaired nerve muscle transmission. Webb stared. Room utterly silent. Right, not just right, but demonstrating genuine neurological understanding, not memorized symptoms. Reason diagnosis. How know myasthenia gravis? Only formally described few years ago. I read Dr. Jolly's paper from 1895. She stopped. No, wait, wrong. Dr. Jolly's paper isn't published yet. I read cases matching pattern in older literature, recognized syndrome. Formal name, must have seen elsewhere. Maybe Dr. Herb's work. Every physician understood what happened. Bella correctly diagnosed rare condition, demonstrated awareness of current literature, so aware she knew unpublished research, caught her own date error, showing active, self-monitoring knowledge, not passive memorization. Proves nothing, Webb said, confidence fading. Coached. Obviously trained to recognize conditions, recite prepared answers. Performance, not intelligence. If coached, Bella said quietly, asked something no one could prepare me for. Describe a recent patient, case undiscussed, let me try to understand what's wrong. Challenge hung. Webb's face red shades. Trapped, refuse, look afraid of being shown up, accept and she succeeds, coaching argument collapses. Very well. Webb's voice tight. 3 weeks ago, examined patient, middle-aged woman, seemingly unrelated problems, joint pain, skin rashes, kidney dysfunction, confusion episodes. He described clinical detail, watching for uncertainty. Saw concentration, intense focus, distant look matching patterns. Joint pain, skin findings, particularly butterfly-shaped facial rash, combined kidney involvement, neurological symptoms suggest systemic lupus erythematosus. Autoimmune condition, body attacks itself. Confusion could be lupus affecting brain directly or kidney failure affecting mental function. The rash. Webb stopped, pale. I didn't mention rash. You said skin findings, sir. Reading case studies, patients this constellation with skin involvement often have specific facial rash. I assumed you observed it. Did you? Webb didn't answer. Silence told everyone yes, patient had facial rash. Bella deduced unmentioned symptom from disease pattern understanding. Whitfield leaned forward. Dr. Webb, does Bella's diagnosis match your conclusion? Webb's voice barely audible. Diagnosis confirmed. Patient has lupus. Room erupted murmurs. Physicians turned to each other, unable to contain reactions. A 9-year-old colored girl matched senior physician's complex case diagnosis, identified unmentioned symptom, demonstrating understanding beyond memorization or coaching. She was thinking about medicine at a level exceeding most medical students after years. Webb stood abruptly, chair scraping. Proves nothing. One lucky guess doesn't demonstrate intelligence. Thousands diseases, million symptom combinations. Any trained performer learns plausible answers to common questions. Entertaining trick, nothing more. Sir, Bella's voice cut through bluster, if tricks, find holes in my knowledge. Ask something obscure, something I couldn't possibly know. I'll answer correctly or not. If can't answer, you're right, I'm fraud. If can answer, maybe consider you're wrong about me, wrong about people like me. Directness, simple logic, enraged Webb beyond words. Face purpled, hands clenched, then said something changing Bella's life trajectory. Child obviously mentally abnormal. Supposed abilities, if exist, symptoms of diseased brain, not genuine intelligence. Seen before in Negro subjects, aberrant development producing isolated skills at general mental stability cost. Should be studied proper facility, not paraded circus attraction. Suggesting. Whitfield demanded, rising. Suggesting child needs psychiatric evaluation, condition requires proper scientific investigation controlled environment. Leaving unsupervised with inadequate mother risks child and public. He turned to room. Gentlemen, responsibility to science, society. If child truly possesses unusual mental abilities, need understand properly. If, as I suspect, abilities symptoms underlying pathology, need protect her from exploitation, protect public from dangers condition might pose. Move recommend placement suitable institution extended observation, study. Whitfield moved protectively toward Bella. Can't be serious. Institutionalized child because smarter than you. Protect potentially dangerous aberration causing harm. Long history Negro mental instability. Child's unusual presentation may indicate he never finished. Grace Adams, silently standing back throughout, pushed through physician crowd, placed between Webb and daughter. You will not touch my child. Voice shook fury, fear. Will not take her anywhere. Don't care letters after name, books written. Bella my daughter, die before let you lock her up institution poke like animal. Webb exaggerated patience, clearly don't understand scientific importance. Understand looked at little girl proving smarter than you, first thought lock away where no one admit you're wrong. Understand perfectly. Room chaos, physicians arguing, some supporting Webb, others outraged. Whitfield tried restoring order while protecting Bella and Grace from Webb allies. Bella sat quietly, watching with brown eyes seeing too much, understanding this beginning, men like Webb wouldn't stop with one failed discredit attempt, extraordinary mind made her target, fighting right to exist rest of life. Examination ended unresolved. No formal institutionalization and recommendation, Whitfield allies threatened going public if Webb pursued. But battle lines drawn. Webb left hospital determined neutralize Bella Adams' threat to everything he believed. Didn't know how yet, but would find way. Men like Webb always found ways to destroy what couldn't accept. 3 months later, he figured exactly how. When moved, neither Whitfield, Grace, nor Bella would see coming until too late. 3 months post-examination calmest Bella would know years. Whitfield arranged private education continuation, physicians willing teach colored child despite social complications. She devoured medical knowledge with fierce hunger, reading textbooks for twice her age, observing surgeries behind screens, learning practical skills transforming theoretical knowledge healing ability. Grace found seamstress work colored Philadelphia section, earning supplement Whitfield provided living expenses. Watched daughter grow confident, assured, becoming something neither dared imagine possible. Brief months, seemed world might allow Bella become capable. But Dr. Cornelius Webb not forgotten, not accepted lecture hall humiliation. Spent 3 months building case destroy Bella Adams completely. January 8, 1894, Webb published article American Journal of Psychiatry, Aberrant Mental Development in Negro Subjects, Case Study Pathological Savantism. Described Bella unnamed, subject B, female Negro child approximately 9. Acknowledged apparent abilities while reframing entirely. According analysis, Bella's extraordinary memory, medical knowledge not intelligence signs, but severe mental disorder symptoms. Compared savant syndrome cases, remarkable calculation and memory feats while profoundly disabled other functioning areas. Argued abilities disconnected true reasoning capacity, mere parlor tricks malformed brain produced. But article went further. Webb claimed subjects like Bella inherently unstable, prone violent outbursts, delusional thinking. Cited fabricated examination behavior observations, claimed showed aggression, paranoid ideation carefully documented. Concluded such individuals danger themselves, others, responsible medical practice required confinement appropriate institution studied, prevented causing harm. Article devastating not because true, but published. Once respected medical journal, became official record. Future physicians read Webb's assessment, accept established fact. Bella Adams defined not abilities, but Webb's supposed pathology description. Whitfield learned article 3 days post-publication when colleague showed copy sympathy, concern. Read office growing horror, understanding immediately what Webb did. Not science, assassination. Deliberate attempt destroy child's reputation, justify whatever actions planned next. Went immediately warn Grace, Bella, but too late. Men came for A.M. January 12, 1894, for large, efficient, paper-signed judge declaring Bella Adams danger self, others, subject immediate commitment Pennsylvania State Hospital insane. Grace woke door broken sound. Threw herself between men Bella's small bed, screaming, fighting, biting, scratching everything mother could against for grown men law side. Knocked aside like weighed nothing. One held her down while others grabbed Bella half asleep, confused, crying Mama. Mama, what's happening? All right, baby. Light or Grace's throat struggling man pinning floor. Going all right. Don't fight them, baby. Don't give excuse hurt you. Mama find you. Mama come you. Promise. Promise. Carried Bella freezing January night, barefoot, nightgown, screams echoing boarding house residents watched doorways, afraid intervene, knowing helping colored child against white men legal papers bring destruction own heads. Mrs. Thompson came Grace after left, helped floor up, held sobbed. Grace's face bruised struck, wrists raw struggling. Physical pain nothing compared knowledge daughter taken, powerless stop. Took her. Took my baby. No, honey. No. What do? How get back? Don't know. But figure out. Find someone help. Grace thought Whitfield, white doctor promised protect Bella. Trusted him, believed promises. Now daughter gone, taken night like criminal, property, less human. Would find Whitfield, demand answers. If couldn't help, find another way. Grace Adams made promised daughter, intended keep no matter cost. Pennsylvania State Hospital insane sprawled 600 acres West Philadelphia, Gothic buildings medieval fortress than healing place. Built 50 years earlier noble intentions Kirkbride plan promising architecture cure mental illness. Decades overcrowding, underfunding, institutional neglect transformed darker. Patients warehouse not treated. Violent chained, difficult sedated, those entered rarely left except coffins. Bella arrived locked wagon, still nightgown, barefoot, feet numb January cold. Stopped crying journey, mind working through terror, trying understand happening, how survive. Knew this place, read asylums medical texts, treatments used, conditions patients endured. Knowledge should terrified more ignorance. Instead gave something hold. Information power. Understanding survival. If new might do, prepare. Endure. Processed like cargo, assigned number instead name, recorded weight, height, approximate age ledger 1,000 similar entries. Cut hair short, easier keep clean institution bathing infrequent. Dressed grey institutional gown hung small frame sack. Put room colored ward, section reserved Negro patients, segregated white patients, like outside world segregated. Room small, perhaps 8 by 8 feet, narrow bed bolted floor, bucket corner waist, single small window iron bars. No heat. Wall stone, cold, damp. Door locked outside. Bella sat bed, pulled knees chest, began recite medical texts head. Only way stay sane, remind more than saw looking. Not crazy. Not dangerous. Girl gift locked away because gift frightened. Would survive. Find way out, someday somehow make pay done. Dr. Webb arrived hospital 2 days post-commitment. Arranged everything, legal papers, early morning seizure, placement institution far Philadelphia make visits difficult. Came see prize, begin real work studying aberration, finding ways explain away abilities. Bella brought examination room, wrists leather straps, ankles shackled. Hadn't slept 2 days. Hadn't eaten slop called food. Cold, exhausted, terrified. But saw Webb, something rose through fear. Hatred, pure, focused, patient. Kind smolders slow, steady, waiting moment. Hello, subject B. Webb's voice pleasant, almost friendly. Sorry unpleasant circumstances, sure understand condition requires careful management. Don't have condition. Not crazy. Put here because embarrassed you. Paranoid thinking exactly why need treatment. Web noted folder. Delusions persecution. Inability recognize own pathology. Classic symptoms disorder described paper. Lied paper. Made things up. Never showed aggression, paranoia. Invented those needed true. Webb's pleasant expression unchanged. Unfortunately, raving's mentally disturbed child carry little weight against professional observations trained physician. No one believe you. No one even listen. Disappear here, subject B, study until understand exactly defective brain produces tricks perform. Then publish findings prove once for all Negro intelligence contradiction terms. Following weeks, Webb subjected Bella battery tests, procedures. Some legitimate medical examinations, measuring skull, testing reflexes, documenting physical characteristics. Others designed purely break. Keep awake days, test memory, reasoning hoping exhaustion degrade abilities. Present problems while subjecting painful stimuli, electric shocks, ice baths, hours standing stress positions, trying prove gifts fragile, easily disrupted, pathology signs rather genuine intelligence. Bella endured. No choice. Gave nothing, refusing perform when wanted, answering questions monosyllables, retreating own mind whenever external world unbearable. Recited medical texts head during worst procedures, using familiar words anchor, reminder still herself no matter did body. And watched. Learned hospital rhythms, which guards lazy, cruel, which nurses sympathetic, indifferent. Memorized schedules, catalogued weaknesses, built mental map institution more detailed any diagram. Because Bella Adams not just surviving, planning, waiting. When moment came, ready. Grace Adams spent first week post-abduction grief, rage fog. Went Whitfield, horrified happened, but paralyzed legal complexity. Commitment papers order. Webb followed proper procedure. Challenging commitment require proving Bella not mentally ill, require examination physicians Webb made sure nearly impossible arrange. Went lawyers, none take colored woman case.